Hello everybody, this is the technician from Services Unlimited, Parts Guru. I have here a model S7, Jura S7, S as in Sam. This machine came for repairs. It has the error code and other problems of making coffee. It just doesn't make coffee at all. So we will demo you how to open the machine, disassemble the parts, and have access to the brew group, because that is one thing that is causing the error 8 as well as having problem making the coffee. So we will start disassembling the machine. First is of course the easy part. The drip tray comes off. Then we have the machine came without the water tank, so we are not going to remove the water tank anyway. Then you have the coffee cover, bean hopper cover. And then this is the so-called aroma cover for the coffee. The cover for the pre-ground coffee chute. We now have to remove the cup warming plate here, which is stainless steel. It is fastened with 2 screws. These are the T15 torque screws, and we will now remove this. When these 2 screws are removed, the front portion of this metal plate is wedged in 4 different locations. So we will try to pull this plate from the back side after removing these screws and pull the front end like this so that this wedged portion will come off easily. Now when this is removed, you will see there are 3 screws that are fastening the top plate here, and there are 2 on the opposite end. So we will be removing these screws to free the top plate. And all these screws are also torque size 15. The rule of the game is that when you are disassembling any machine, whatever the model you have to make your own notes and mark those parts, especially the wires and the Teflon tubes, so that you know where they were separated from and to replace them back without thinking about where did I remove it and where does it go. There is some help is available. We guide people via email and over the phone, but to put them back together correctly, that is a very difficult thing to do on phone or via email. So we will encourage you to mark those parts or take pictures, however is possible for you to remember and put the machine back together without any difficulty or scratching your heads. Now this process of disassembling this machine applies to this model S7, S7 Avantgarde, the S8 model, and then S9 Avantgarde, X90, X95. Now the top plate has been freed, but in order to remove this, we just have to pull it up because it has been freed from all the sides. We now come to the rear end of the machine where there are 2 oval head screws, and we will remove those to free the rear plate. And I'm using the special key, oval head key, and here are the 2 screws. The other one is on this side. And this way the plate is free, the rear panel, and we separate that. And now you can see that all the parts in the rear end of the machine, they are exposed. On the right you have the electronic control board complete, Then on the left here is the Invensys pump. This company, Invensys, has been closed. It was purchased by another company, ARS. So the new pump motors will be labeled as ARS, or we have also seen in some Jura machines the Ulca pump. That is in any way not smaller or less powerful. All these oscillating pumps, they exert a pumping pressure of 15 bars, each bar being 14.8 psi. So we are looking at about 135 psi pressure when these pumps push water with. And for making espressos, you need 9 bars maximum. So 15 bar level is pretty high and enough. So the electronic board is generally a very stable and long-lasting item. Very rarely it will go bad unless some water has by mistake been poured into it, or some moisture has gone in, or there has been some electrical surge and that shorted the whole board somewhere, and it is not easy to fix it, so you have to replace that. That happens very rarely. So the pump connects in the front to a diaphragm regulator, and this is a nasty part. For some reason, it is not only easy to leak, it causes a lot of leakages frequently, and you need to replace. So be prepared to suspect this as first culprit for any leakages. In some machines, it is with a hairpin lock, like this one. It has a hairpin lock, and I can show you. The hairpin is here. You can easily pull that away to free it from the tube connection, and this is threaded into the front end of the pump. So you will have to also remove the pump or remove the side panel from there and unscrew the diaphragm regulator. On the top here you will see the Brew group drive motor, which has a small plastic gear. We will show it later. On top here is the encoder. This electronic part controls the movement of brew group from the home position going back to the brewing position and then coming back after espresso is delivered. This part is held in place by just a simple clip, and if you are not careful to lift it up and pull it out, it can drop inside, and once it drops inside you will be struggling to find it and take it out. Anyway, this is from the top view. Now here above the pump you will see the pancake style heater, water heater. This is a common source of leakage also. This should not, as a matter of fact, leak, because you see that the dried lime deposits are here. If the Jura recommended descaler and the tablets, they were effective, this should not happen. Either this owner of the machine did not descale it as frequently as recommended, or he has been using the wrong product for descaling. Somehow there are signs of leakages. The leakage is occurring from the leg grease connectors that connect the boiler with the Teflon tubes, and obviously these are push connect types and they can start to leak. And what I'm pointing out on the deposit of the whitish powder here, the calcium deposits, that is nothing to do with the leakage, because parts can leak. So this is the point that I wanted to show you here, that you can see these, and in such cases you can either try and order the kit we have for repair. We have the gaskets and the leg grease connections that makes the kit for repairing it. And if you are comfortable, you can order the complete assembly of the heater. Fortunate, our efforts are working. We are able to stock enough parts for selling it to the Jura owners. I will now turn this machine to the other side here, which is still one side panel that we need to remove. We remove this and then go to the front side for where the access to the brew group is. Now for this, removing this right side panel from the front of the machine, we have 2 screws on the bottom. I will show you the screws, and then they have been removed here beforehand. These two screws have to be removed in order to lift this plate out from the little catches on the top here. 1 and 2. These catches will come off once we pull this plate out. Now, in order to free it from the front, of course, we have here 2 screws that are locking the side place in the front with the front panel. To remove this 2 screws from the front, one is here, as you can see in the bottom corner, and the other screw is way up here a little, so you can see the top screw. So I will remove this and continue. So with the removal of those 2 screws, we can pull the front panel a little forward and release this side panel. Very easy. Alright, now in order to remove the front door away from the machine, we have 2 or 3 steps here that are very important. Number 1, you have to pull this knob out. And there are Teflon tube connections and the steam control valve here. This is wedged in from the top with these 2 latches that are locking it in, and the same thing is locked in at the bottom with 2 notches. So I'll try to remove this first by lifting these 2 tabs and pushing this piece a little out from these locks. Here it is. These 2 have freed from the top, and I will pull this up from the bottom connection. As a result, this will be freed from the front connections. Now, this frothing tube or steam tube that is coming out, it needs to be pulled to free from the connection in the, here is the connection for this Teflon, the metal steam pipe. So I can show you again, this pushes in and it can be pulled out to free the steam control valve, steam and hot water. So this will release the front door quite a bit, and it will let you disconnect some additional tubes. So once this steam valve control is freed, then we need to pull these 2 connectors from the dispensing outlet. One of them is the tube that is coming from the brewing unit, and the other one is for the hot water. So they are together, and I will pull them straight out, and these are the dual connector to let the hot water from this silicone tube and the coffee tube coming from the brewing unit. They can be pulled out. So the door is now released, and I can swing it out away from the machine. I can have the access to the brewing unit from here, but if you feel like removing the door entirely further, and it is hinged here with 2 pins, one below and one above, and these 2 pins, they can be pushed from the top to remove them and pull it out from the bottom. The bottom hinge pin is to be pushed from the bottom to lift it from the top. And this is what I will show you quickly. This top portion has the pin, and I will press it with the flat screwdriver, so the pin head will come down from there. And using a nose plier, I will pull this pin out. There it is. And the bottom one will push from the bottom and can be pulled up from the top. have pushed it up, and the top part that has come out. Here it is, the second one. This will release the door from the hinges, and you will have more access directly to the brewing unit. So the brew group, in order to remove it, we have to locate the screws that are fastening it in place. It has 3 screws. One is here in the bottom, this one, and the other one is behind on the upper end, this second screw, and the third one is here on the lower end of this riser, right there. So I will unscrew those. The ticklish part of it is that when you free the brew group, it has a Teflon tube connection to the drainage valve that brings the hot water to pass up through the coffee to make the espresso. So in order to not have problems later, I will try to remove that hairpin lock connector, and there it has come off. So now it will be easy when we are trying to pull the brew group out, it will be easy for that Teflon tube to get disconnected on its own. So I have removed that one screw. The second screw is in the bottom here on the right side. And the third one is in the back underside of the coffee scraper. So now the brew group is free, it will come off, and the only connection from the coffee outlet to the brew group is this Teflon tube with the tied up here with the plastic connector. So here is that tube that was in bringing water in through the drainage valve here, and this was here that the tube was connected, and I think the O-ring is still stuck inside, and here is the hairpin lock connector. In order to clean this brew group and then connect it, you have to be careful that you have removed the old O-ring and locked it properly, and make sure that the Teflon tube is connected firmly with the new O-ring and locked in correctly with the hairpin so that there will be no leakage later on. Otherwise you have to do the whole exercise all over again. Now the brew group, as you see, because it is not possible to clean these manually, the accumulation of leakage, the overspilled coffee grounds, and the humid atmosphere that develops this white fungus growth. And that is where this is important, that everyone should have enough knowledge to take the sides apart, access the brew group, and clean it and sanitize it at least once or twice a month. Jura company does not recommend that, but we encourage everybody to do that. And in this regard, we have made this video to make it easy for you. The rule of the thumb for repairs or do-it-yourself approach is that whenever you are disconnecting any tubes, any wires, or any parts, mark them so that you can put them back together without any difficulty. In order to free the brew group from these tubings, instead of cutting these plastic ties, you can remove this tube connected into the center of the brew group riser. This is connected in the front here with the actually wedged in here. You can pull this forward to free it, and then the back end of this tube is again with two-sided latches. If you briefly stretch them onto the side, this tube will come off. these are the two sides that have holes to lock into those two little latches. So this tube can come off and make you, okay, now this also has come off, so it was easy. Again, you have to take pictures before you do this so that you know how to put it back together without making any mistakes or wasting time. That's the piece that we have. We will now refurbish this before we check other machine faults and correct them. And I'm sure that we have to replace the diaphragm regulator, which is always a consideration with us because we want to repair the machine in a way that is good. It will last longer. In any case, this is basically the way that we wanted to demo this assembly of the machine to have access to the brew group. And we have completed this video for your guidance, and we will be continuing our process of bringing you more newer models and the videos on how to disassemble the machine. Thank you for watching, and you are welcome to send us emails asking questions, and you can order parts. We carry all the full range of Jura parts.